Green Knight is a great movie. All right, go ahead.
The first trailer we want to actually discuss is The Green Knight. And I had no prior information going into this, to seeing this. I actually looked it up afterwards because I found it so intriguing. I didn't even know the director making this, so I had to look him up and actually saw one of his films. This movie is based on, what is it? Is it a play or is it?
It's a poem.
It's a poem, okay. It's 14th century?
Yeah, 14th century by Geoffrey Chaucer. He wrote the Canterbury Tales, which is another very, very popular story from back in medieval ages, almost ending the Middle Ages, basically.
Well, this is an Arthurian tale, a dark fantasy tale. And it's
Very
handled
dark.
by A24, which does like a bunch of psychological horror movies, and they're like one of the most prestigious production companies out. So it's very intriguing to see this, because fantasy's had ups and downs. Really, it's more missed than it is hits. And so is horror.
Yeah.
They've changed horror to make it more sophisticated.
They're the ones that did Midsommar.
Yeah, they've done all
the
the
tones
Hereditary,
are just so much there, and that
everything.
I thought right when they lit him on fire,
right?
I was like, this is
and
got to be by
that
the
sound,
same.
You're hearing that.
Yeah, this is the thing I want to point out, is that when I started watching the trailer, he sent it to me. That's how we usually do things. He'll send me something. He's the first one to catch it. He sent it to me. I started watching it. I just got over seeing a really good King Arthur movie with, was it King Arthur or was it King Henry?
Oh, you're talking about
Timothy
the King.
Chalamet. Yeah, that's King Henry, right?
It's King Henry.
Yeah, King Henry, Timothy Chalamet. That was a good one. And then there was the one with Jax, what's his name? Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, okay.
And that one was a little bit of like a basic King Arthur, like here, and it was swinging swords and stuff.
It was Rockstar King Arthur.
It seemed like it was just like whatever to me.
With contemporary filmmaking, like there was running shots, shots where they're POV when you're running, so it's very.
So it's it's an action movie, So my thing is that going into this, the first 10 seconds, you see that this is not going to be either of those movies. It's going to be a completely different, really suspenseful kind of creepy feeling. It feels like there's a weird tone to it. And
all those projects.
The thing that's interesting is about that story is it is very grim. It involves King Arthur. The main character of the story is the nephew of King Arthur. Now, it's just such a weird, bizarre tale. And seeing how they're going to shoot it and how they're going to really work with the story of, this undead guy. Paraphrasing and open, as much as I could give you the gist of it, is basically this dead being, this creature. I don't know what he supposedly symbolizes or embodies, but he comes in and offers them basically a test, or basically offers them a gift. You could chop off my head, which is a strange gift, and take this weapon, but in a year and a day, I will come back and I'm gonna chop off your
queen
head. So basically, it's beautiful to me in a bizarre sense, is that if King Arthur would have swung the sword, the story wouldn't really have been a story. It would have just ended up with him being real. He wouldn't have learned anything from it because of how hard-headed and how great of a leader he thought and sought himself out to be. So really, there would have been no growth, and he would have ended up.
You need the self-doubt in the character to get the.
That's what it is. He would have ended up dying at the end of the story and getting his head chopped off, because the whole point is for him to build that character, be aware of what he has done and what the transgressions are that come with that, the consequences of me beheading this guy. Then all of a sudden, once he beheads him, because he thinks it's a noble. It's his claim to fame. He's going to make a name for himself. He's going to get the weapon,
which
honor,
definitely shows in the trailer. The trailer,
and that's what it is he chops the head off. But once he chops the head off, this guy gets back up, picks his head up, and says, "I'll see you in a year and a day." So in his mind, he starts to say to himself, "What the hell did I just do?" King Arthur's there. Good job. Being King Arthur, and now it's about self-doubt. And it's about him building himself up to having the courage and confidence to go to that place and meet his end, because it's his destiny now, because he did, every action has a consequence, and that's what it's trying to show you. I'm not going to get into what the end of the poem is really, but it's pretty clever on the way it plays things, so I just think that this is a story that is one that you don't hear about, it's one that people don't talk about, and me as the guy that's not more of a casual fan of films, finding out this is coming out is something more in my wheelhouse, because I do like reading a lot of these stories better than I do going and watching how they try to put them together in film. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one looks like it's gonna be amazing. This one's gonna be good.
And that's why I bring it up, because typically you see like great tales that are being adapted, great fantasy tales that are being adapted, and those are a dime a dozen, and typically they end up being bad.
Yeah.
But when you see this, not only does it get you with its striking imagery, you know, and its clear psychological aspect that it's going for, it's also like the design is very like dark fantasy, and it looks not cheesy.
And you
know,
can believe in it.
When that green monster comes up,
he doesn't look
typically
stupid.
in the neck in a
He looked cheesy.
usual you'd see
Big and
a
goofy,
usual
you
stupid
know,
design, you know.
and come in very reserved, not being that villain that usually is there. I'm coming, the kid Hercules or whoever it is.
It just
you know?
looks like the production looks very sophisticated,
Yeah.
and has a good look that you can, you know, suspend your disbelief with, because you're enjoying it.
You're
know?
just stuck in it.
Because
You're
it doesn't
saying,
look
"What is
silly,
going
and you're
on?"
like, oh man, I you know, this is maybe not
feels
that
like
great.
an extension
you
of
know?
reality, because it feels like something that actually happened because of the way it's shot. If it the main character, this kid, Dave Patel. I was gonna say Sheev Patel, Sheev Palpatine. He is an Indian guy playing this role. Looks freaking like I don't even I had no clue. He had to tell me like who this guy was. I had no idea who he was. But he's like, forget Charlie Hunnam, forget the other guy, Chalamet. This dude looks the part of a guy trying to earn honor. Like, he looks like he lives in that time
knightly.
period.
He has that
you know,
flowing hair.
he's clean. You know, he doesn't have shit on him, because that's a thing that they would say in old poems and stories. Like,
Really?
He must be the king, for he has not shit on him. You know,
Okay.
like, so like that's like, he looks like he's knightly, like he's protecting the realm. Most of these guys look like
the costume design on him looks particularly
phenomenal.
really cool.
You know, so that's why I think this one will be a winner, just because they clearly know what works and what makes it feel real. I feel like I'm part of that now. Like, just watching 2 minutes of it, I'm saying, holy shit. And then I go and read more, and I'm like, I knew it was this story, and it's just exciting, you know? It's one of those that's exciting.
Yeah, I saw this, and immediately I could tell aesthetically that it looked pleasing, and that it looked a step above what we typically get with the fantasy. It looked very dark and gothic. It looks nice. And then I saw the director, and they said acclaimed, and you know, sometimes they lie about that. But then I actually looked his catalog, and I saw the movie he did before his most recent one, which is called The Ghost Story, and it's you know what, I'm really excited about this dude. This dude is interesting. He made a ghost story where the ghost is like silly, like, but it's a serious ghost story. Like, it's
supposed to be scary.
He's draped in, it's Casey Affleck, and he's draped in sheets and looks like a ghost, like what the kids would do. So juxtapose the fact that it's real, because like he's lingering behind his old house. Okay. So you're seeing real problems, like the people that he left behind, you know, grow and develop into other things like love and stuff. Sure. And you're seeing how a haunting kind of happens, because like he's watching his wife now moving on. And that part of him doesn't even know what he's doing here.
I gotta watch
the ghost.
That.
It's weird.
That sounds brutal.
It was so weird, because he sees another ghost in another house, and it starts to tell you that they don't really get fully why they're stuck to this place as well.
Yeah, so they don't understand.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, it's very weird and interesting. So this guy,
that only backs it up. Then.
Yeah.
You know, something I don't even know. You know, I'm just going off the idea of the story.
You know,
that sounds good to me.
It shows that they got the talent, you know, like a really obscure, like odd talent.
Finding weird things.
Know, like,
that's what it is because...
That's why A24 gets it right. They get really weird artistic
all
dudes.
The time. Everything seems like it's either a rethread or it's kind of the same. It's following the same plot points. It seems like everything that I've seen from A24, granted I am more of a casual fan, everything I've seen, whether it's Hereditary, Midsommar...
They try, even if maybe they're not for you, all of it,
it's striking how good the audio is. It's striking how good the shots are, you know, the angles of the shots. I mean, they sew a guy into...
Midsommar with the sound, with the music off, and the sounding just alone was nightmares.
It's probably brutal. Bro, they sew a guy into a bear. You know, you want to talk about a brutal life. Just sitting there like, I'm a bear, here I go. So, I mean, it's just, they know how to get you to feel weird. That's what it is. It's not being scared. It's not being scared.
It's a weird
Hereditary's a bit scary, I won't lie. But feeling just like, it's just an off-putting feeling. First off, they buried it. They buried a dude with his foot fucking coming out of the fucking grass like he was going to grow into a tree. It's really deep, weird stuff, you know, like... You got to really be creative mind to come up with that type of stuff, you know, so I respect it a lot.
This one actually comes out soon in the summer. if there's any like A24 movies that you're really like crazy about, let me know, because like I actually haven't seen all of them, and I would like to like see the more obscure ones. I see a bunch like
Same
that.
here.
That
No,
I
same
never
here.
saw myself, and honestly, they're just really intriguing.
Because they're not movies that freak me out. They're just so well made that you want to watch them, even if they are something you're uncomfortable with. But yeah, that's all we got on that one. That one's gonna be great. I'm really excited for Green Knight, definitely. And then moving on to the next one.